Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to tackle two tiny words that cause a whole lot of confusion: on versus onto. There's a really simple core rule and one key exception. Once you get these, I promise you're going to nail it every single time.
Okay, let's just dive right in with a test. The cat jumped blank the counter. What's your gut feeling here? On or onto? Lock in your answer, and by the end of this quick explainer, we'll see if you got it right. Now, we're not just guessing here. To get to the bottom of this, we're turning to an absolute authority on the subject, Michael Swan's Practical English Usage. This book is fantastic for clearing up exactly these kinds of tricky little grammar points. So let's get right to the heart of it. The main difference, the number one thing you need to remember, all boils down to one simple idea: position versus movement. Think of it this way. The word on usually answers the question, where is it? It's talking about a static location. But onto answers a different question. Where is it going? It's all about the action of moving to a surface. So let's zoom in on for a second. We use it to talk about the position of something. It's not going anywhere, it's settled, it's just there. Now compare that with onto. Onto is dynamic. It's about directions, it's about destinations. It describes that journey of something moving toward and then arriving on top of a surface. Okay, that's the theory, but definitions only get you so far, right? Let's look at some real-world examples to make this crystal clear. Here we go, a perfect, simple case for on. Your supper is on the table. The supper isn't moving, it's already there. We're just telling someone its position. Easy enough. But look what happens here. I put your supper onto the table. See the difference? Now we're describing the action of moving the food to the table. The focus is completely on that movement. Let's try another one. The cat is on the roof again. That cat is just hanging out. It's in a fixed spot. We're describing its static position. And the flip side, how does the cat get onto the roof? The moment we use onto, you know we're not asking where it is now. We're asking about the journey, the action of getting from point A to the roof. All right, I think you've got the main rule down now, but this is English, and English just loves to throw us a curveball. This is where things get a little bit tricky, but also really interesting.
So, when can on also be used to talk about movement? Well, it happens with verbs like throw, jump, put, action words. But here's the key. You use on in these situations when you don't really care about the journey itself. You're just focused on the final destination, the end result.
Our source gives us this perfect example. Throw another log on the fire. Now, saying onto the fire isn't exactly wrong, but on the fire is super common and sounds totally natural. So why does it work? It's because the point of that sentence isn't the beautiful, graceful arc of the log flying through the air. The point is where it ends up, on the fire. The final location is way more important than the action of getting it there. Okay, I know that's a lot of detail for two little words, so let's just boil this all down into a super quick mental shortcut you can use anytime you get stuck. Here you go, your 2-second check. First, just ask, is this about a static location? If the answer is yes, use on. Simple. Second, ask, is this about the movement to a surface? If yes, onto is your best, clearest choice. And finally, the tricky one. Is it an action verb, but the final position is what really matters? If yes, then on is perfectly fine too. So let's circle all the way back to our cat. The cat jumped blank the counter. The most precise answer, the one that really emphasizes the action of moving to the surface, is onto. But now that you know the exception, you could totally say the cat jumped on the counter. Especially if you're just focused on the end result. The cat is now on the counter. Both can work. And that's pretty much it for on versus onto. It's funny how these tiny little words can be so specific, right? It kind of makes you wonder, what other small words out there cause big headaches in English? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this one.